The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. What up, though? It's your boy, Mrs. CEO, and your boy, Jay. Welcome to Beats, Rhymes, and Parlays, where the stats hit different, and every parlay got a beat behind it. Let me throw my chain over my neck real quick, bro. What up, though, nigga?
Hey, I can't call it, bro.
Let me take a
I
picture
can't
real
call
quick.
it. I'm down 0-2. I'm going to have to change that shit up this weekend, man. Good win.
I'm gonna have to take like them hip hop videos and shit. You take pictures and snap. Yeah, man. What you think about last week overall, man?
I think it was pretty good, man. Only thing that really shocked me was Georgia. Georgia shocked me. And BYU kind of shocked me a little bit too, man. They won the match, but the struggle with Colorado like that was kind of weird, man. Because overall, you finally convinced me that Colorado ain't that good. But other than that, it was a good week, man. LSU, man, I had them. I thought this was Brian Kelly year. They're far from done. But
What do you think about Brian Kelly, though?
I don't know how this is his fault, man. I mean, the quarterback, he didn't play.
Just
He's not
overall.
seeing it. Huh?
Not even just that game. Just like they waiting.
Overall,
They said the last two LSU coaches, I think, won a championship by like their fourth or fifth year or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it because the thing, but I'm not gonna make no excuses for the guy, man. I think he's more of a big personality that you bring in to excite your program.
Mm-hmm.
So like after this, he will go somewhere like I just throw out a name like Oklahoma.
Yeah,
to bring them back and get them in the top 10, and then somebody will pick up that program and take them to a championship. He hasn't proven that he can win a championship because at Notre Dame, it seems like everywhere he leaves,
they win a championship.
Notre Dame didn't. But
they didn't win it. They didn't win it, but they went farther than what he did.
He gets them to a ceiling of like fifth or sixth ranked, and then they bring in somebody else and they get him to that next level. So with him, I don't know. I don't put this on him. A lot of them quarterbacks that they had real high hopes for in the offseason, they're not playing well, bro. They're not playing well at all.
Yeah.
Nussmeier, Arch Manning, Langway.
Yeah.
My man in South Carolina. The only one that's really playing well was old boy in Oklahoma. He broke his hand.
Yeah.
Texas A&M's QB's doing all right, but it's just been a down year. And with all that hype, I expected the LSU quarterback to show it was levels to it. And Ole Miss put in a backup and beat him. So
Yeah, like I was saying last week, man, that backup is better than the starter. Sometimes I guess you just make mistakes in spring practice and summer practice. But get on your soapbox, my nigga, man.
Huh?
I said, get back up on your soapbox. It's your time, boy. What's the two words? James Franklin.
Oh shit, but I mean, hey, bro, we knew that was gonna happen, bro. mean, like I'd have been more shocked if he would have won. To be honest with you, bro. And as far as James Franklin, bro, just being real, this one to me wasn't on him. That's another quarterback with a first round break that looked like dog shit. So
you're right.
I don't know. He came all the way back. They got into. I'm talking about in the fourth quarter. They come all the way back. They get into overtime. Give up a quick score. It's in the quarterback's hands. That's not an NFL throw, bro. Like any other quarterback, any NFL quarterback makes that throw. Most college cats can make that throw.
Yeah.
Allar is stiff back there. He has no fundamentals. It looked like he don't trust his arm. He's not throwing people open. They got to be wide open. So
real quick, man.
I mean, James Franklin is an unlucky guy. You know what I mean? And he's a loser when it comes to big games. That's what he's going to do. Kind of. Yeah. But this one, I can't just put it all on him, bro. Like, I think a lot of it is the quarterback, bro. Because look at the guy who transferred down to Auburn. He out there balling. They changed the whole wide receiver room, and they still can't.
You're talking about the one with Missouri.
Missouri, my bad. Missouri. You're
right. That's what I was about to bring up. They let him go. Yeah, they let him go. He down there going nuts.
So I mean, you could possibly blame the scheme, but me personally, I think it's the quarterback, bro. Because you changed the whole room, got a whole room full of dogs, and you still can't get it done. So, but after a while, man, like I believe some of that shit becomes mental. And if you watch that first half, they were playing scared as hell, like they didn't want to lose. And so I mean, it sucks for him because he might lose 2 more games, bro. I know they got They got Ohio State. I can't see them beating Ohio State.
No, I ain't gonna lie, man.
I think they play Indiana too.
I think so.
That could be a loss, but
I do retract my statement, y'all. Everybody, when we try to predict stuff, sometimes we did wrong. I'm gonna let y'all know. Y'all probably didn't see it. If y'all did see it, I did pick Penn State to win the Big Ten. I'm surprised Jane clowned me. I'm just surprised. I was waiting for you to clown me when the show started on that one. I don't see them beating Ohio State. And real quick before we go to the first game, somebody mentioned this, and they was asking them. They said, "Why Penn State? They can't get it." And he said something about Penn State where they recruit at. They can get offensive linemen, they can get defensive linemen, and the fact that they can get those two, they got good running backs, but they cannot get receivers or quarterbacks. He said Penn State over the long haul. When has a Penn State had a good quarterback? Name a Penn State quarterback who went to the NFL.
Kerry Collins.
I'll wait. When was that? How we was with 11?
But they got two, man. They got that other cat too, bro.
But you can't tell me it's been bad. It's been bad. Quarterback at Penn State has been average to below average for a long time. And so I don't know why they can't recruit him. Name a receiver from Penn State that did anything. But I guarantee in the NFL, look at all the D linemen, look at the O linemen, the running backs, they in the NFL. So just wanted to just throw that out there. I thought that was that was a nice little tidbit.
Hold on, man. Goodness, bro. My bad, bro.
That's all good. I know how to be.
Nah, man, it was the buzzer was buzzing, bro. So I looked and I tried to see and I saw that it was out there. I thought they was locked out. All right, man. Do you want to start again from the top or you want to just
No, from now on, like something like this, we can just cut it out. We ain't about to go over all that. We just talked again, my nigga. That was good conversation.
Cool.
All right. Okay. All right, man. That was definitely a good tidbit on Penn State. So I thought I wanted to share that. Let's go to this first game. We got Wisconsin at Michigan. Michigan is 17.5 point favorite at home, over under 43.5. What we got?
This is a weird game, man, because old school Wisconsin, bro. I'd have to take them plus the points. I did look and I see Wisconsin runs the ball well, but this ain't the Wisconsin I kind of grew up on. I don't know what Luke Fickell and them are out there doing. They're not getting the recruits. They're not really on the map. I think this is a spot where they go into Michigan. Michigan at this point has to just continue to get style points to continue to move up the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure Michigan loses another game until Ohio State, the way it's starting to look, but we'll dive into that later. I think them at the big house, Wisconsin really has no passing attack. Michigan's strong against the run. This would be a scrimmage for the young kids out there at Michigan because, you know, Michigan's kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
Probably starts off slow. By the end of the game, I expect them to win probably about like 28-7, something like that. So give me Michigan. I lay in the points.
Yeah, this game, I remember that 17.5, that hook we talked about Vegas, Miami played South Florida. That same 17.5 hook is sitting there and ain't moved. So just knowing that, I do love Michigan to basically cover this. Wisconsin got Billy Edwards from Maryland. I don't know if he'd been hurt or what. No, I know he was hurt like game one, I think, something like that. But they've been having almost a 2-quarterback system. Like he'll start the game and the other dude to come in. But no, the quarterbacks.
That's not.
I don't really mess.
That's not gonna work, bro.
Yeah, I don't really mess with the quarterbacks. My CEO notes, and I'm gonna let y'all know we got the CEO notes. That's just me watching these games and telling y'all what I saw in the game that might affect the game they're about to play. And also, too, sometimes you see stuff in the games and you wonder, okay, the spread's here, but if two things would have happened different, that was flukes, the spread would have been totally different. That's how you can jump on Vegas. Wisconsin versus Miami of Ohio, which is not even Big Ten worthy. 3-0 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. That's almost what you got to. That's almost it that you got to say. Wisconsin against Miami of Ohio in the fourth quarter up in the third quarter up 3-0. They won 17-0 against the same team. Rutgers won 45-17. So they struggle. They can't even move the ball. So you know Michigan's gonna be able to stop them. I do like that. They don't have no playmakers on offense, no running game. They're actually just out there. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see nothing good on film with Wisconsin. If Michigan somehow don't cover the spread, it's on Michigan. Wisconsin right now, talent-wise, the bottom of the Big Ten. They remind me of like Northwestern last year, Purdue. Like I'm just telling you, that's how they looked on film. So I'm with you on this one.
The one thing I'll say, I won't call them the bottom because I think they're not the bottom. I think the bottom tier is UCLA, Northwestern, Purdue. I think they're right above that. Maybe
They
Rutgers,
might be. I don't
and
know,
then
bro. We're gonna see.
maybe
We're gonna
Wisconsin.
see. We
So I
might be
mean,
able
they
to do
just
that.
right out of it. I
Yeah,
won't call them
I
the
see what you're
bottom,
saying.
but they
Yeah.
there. I'm with you. I agree.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm gonna leave them in the bottom. You got to route the bottom. But guess what? The teacher gonna tell us though, because we got more weeks to come, and we're gonna find out who in that damn bottom tier. All right. Let's jump over to the next game. We got Kansas State at Baylor. Baylor 6.5-point favorite, over under 61.5. What you got anything on this one?
Yeah, man. This should be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
I'll probably if it's on TV, I'll watch this game. I think it's at noon, and that's when Iowa State plays Cincinnati, so I probably won't watch it. If I had to pick with a gun in my head, I'm taking Baylor, man. Baylor's the better team. I don't know what's going on with Kansas State. If you watched the shows when we first got started preseason, I was really high on Avery Johnson, or I called him Avery Johnson, but Avery and all of them, man, and it's just not clicking out there. You know what I mean? It's not going well at all. The only thing about Baylor that concerns me is they can't stop a runny nose, so the game could be closer than it needs to be, but Baylor by far is the better team.
Yeah, so I do know what's wrong with Kansas State, not fully, but Kansas State is basically Dylan Edwards or bust. Yeah. When Dylan Edwards play, Kansas State actually is a ranked team. When Dylan Edwards don't play, they're not a ranked team. It's like night and day. Like literally night and day. I watched all the games that they played so far. The reason they beat UCF ass, Dylan Edwards played. Dylan Edwards had like an 80-yard touchdown run. He rushed for about 100. You see what I'm saying? Like so the reason I wouldn't bet this game is for some reason Dylan Edwards' head. You don't seem like he don't want to be there. Like even the first game, he wasn't really injured. I don't think that first game was Iowa State. He didn't really. What did he do? He fumbled that ball. He sat over there looking healthy the whole time and didn't play. I'm hearing rumblings. Like I said, this little NIL stuff. He might have his mount some bigger place next year. Is he a senior? I don't know. Oh no, he's not a senior. No. He's young, so he can go somewhere else. He's seen Kansas State. So if you tell me he's playing tomorrow, Kansas State can get an upset. If you tell me he's not playing tomorrow, Kansas State won't win. Now, don't even have a chance. One thing also I looked up is Kansas State defense is bad against the run. Baylor do got the good running game, so that's going to be tough. And also, Kansas State give up a lot of explosive plays. A lot of explosive plays.
Over.
Man.
It's over. You might have talked me into betting this game because that's what Baylor do.
I got some more. Yes. So listen, I'm going to tell you this. This is my CEO notes. Army, I watched Army and Kansas State. Army team is slow. If you was to talk about Madden speed, they running back probably a 72. Army had the ball 40 minutes that game, and Kansas State had the ball 20 minutes. They couldn't get Army off the field. They couldn't get Army off the field.
They won't have to worry about that. And so like 6 plays, shit.
I'm telling you, but if you look at Army small. Army was bulldozing them dudes. That's like, it's nowhere in the world they should even been close to that team. Army is so slow. And that's a big indictment on Kansas State. One thing, like you said, Baylor, watching them, if Dylan Edwards start, they're going to have a trouble with that. No. As you see, Arbor run up and down the field against them. Arizona State run up and down the field against them. So if he do play, that's why I say they got a chance to win. If he do play, they do struggle. I don't like the fact they're at home. They did beat SMU, which is a decent team. But, yeah, gun to head on this one, I would go Baylor. But just let y'all know, guys, check the injury report. If Dylan Edwards play, I would definitely be on Kansas State.
Hey, man, all right, let me jump back in real quick. Okay, even if he do play, I'm still on. I don't trust Kansas State because out there with Bailey, they're gonna have to throw the ball, and I do not trust what I've seen from them passing the ball, bro. But go ahead, let's go on to the next one. Fuck Kansas State and Baylor. Let's go.
Iowa State as Cincy a 1.5-point favorite, over under 55.5. What you got?
I got Iowa State, man, and I'm gonna make it just this simple. I honestly think he's one of the quarterbacks. Iowa State's quarterback is playing really, really good. Like, I remember at the beginning of the season, we were talking about his receivers had moved on, and he had a whole new group of people, and it's going to be on him. And I literally sat here and said, he can't do it. He's doing it. He's literally getting it done. It's him or bust. The other thing about Iowa State, they have a solid defense. It's going to be tested. And when I say solid, I don't mean like top 10 and nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Formidable. Mm-hmm. We're formidable. And I don't think Cincinnati's going to run all over them. Cincinnati, and I hate to do this, they lost to Nebraska. I don't think Nebraska's on Iowa State's level at all. So when it comes down to stuff like that, I just got to take Iowa State, bro. I think they battle tested. I think the game's going to be close, though, because it's at Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Cincinnati got some momentum after stomping out Syracuse like that. So I think it's going to be interesting, but I take Iowa State hitting the game-winning field goal, 23-20.
All right, and this one, okay. All right, so we're going to go to my notes real quick. Iowa State got a good tackling defense, good run blocking. I love the off the line run blocking. They need to attack Cincy weaknesses at cornerback, but the problem with Iowa State is Iowa State's strength is their tight ends. So I don't know if Iowa State going to actually be able to attack Cincinnati's weaknesses. They did. I don't know if they took Arkansas State serious or not. Maybe it was one of those games where you like stat game, but they was down 10-9 late in the second quarter against Arkansas State. So that kind of really shot me away when I'm watching them. I didn't like that. They ended up winning. They was down in the fourth quarter, 20-17, pulled away. That kind of shot me away a little bit. One thing I do like about Cincinnati, this is going to sound crazy. It was week 5. What is his name? Sorensby? He got sacked. The announcer said he got sacked for the first time this year. He got sacked for the first time this year in week 5. Them dudes got a good run blocking O-line. They got a good pass blocking O-line, and they got real good receivers. So let me read this. He's the highest graded quarterback per PFF. Iowa State is a heavy zone team. Sorensby is top 10 in the nation versus zone. They line give. What I was noticing on film too, Cincinnati running backs was getting 2 to 3 yards a carry before contact. That shows you got a dominant line. One thing I'm gonna say, and I mentioned the weak DBs, but like I said, if you got weak corners, but your receivers is your weak link and your strength is your middle against their strength with their tight ends, I think Cincinnati can kind of hold them there pretty good. But one thing I will say is Iowa State, I don't think they really beat nobody. Now that you look at their schedule, they beat Kansas State. They beat Arkansas State. They beat Iowa. Like, you see what I'm saying? So I don't think, me personally, I don't think it's Iowa State as good as what you kind of think they are. I'm going to take Cincinnati at home on this one, and it's actually going to be one of my best bets. It's 1.5.
Champ chain.
I was waiting for it.
Champ chain.
You already knew I'm ready.
Champ chain, bro.
You already knew I'm ready. I was waiting for it.
I want you to tell me who the Cincinnati beat that has you so impressed.
I think Kansas. I think them actually beating Kansas is better than. I think Kansas is better than any team that Iowa State has played so far.
Do you think Nebraska is better than any team Iowa State has played so far?
Kansas. I think Kansas right now.
I'm asking the team that beat Cincinnati. Do you think they are better than any team that Iowa State has played so far, besides Arkansas State? Because Nebraska's terrible, bro. Nebraska got ran out the building by Michigan.
I'm not gonna say they're terrible. Michigan,
they're terrible.
We can parse words
terrible
on that one. I'm not gonna say they're terrible.
Okay, go ahead. Go. Yeah, we won't get into this, but I'm gonna tell you how bad I think they are. I was literally sitting over here thinking about betting Michigan State to go down there and beat them.
Okay.
I'm literally Michigan State is terrible, but I just almost think Nebraska, and just hearing some of the stuff coming out of there too, like people down there sick of Raiola and all of that, like that's not a good team. And for them to lose to them, I mean Cincinnati played them close. But anyway, we just champ chain it.
Yeah, we definitely champ chain it.
Or I'm 1-2.
Yeah, we definitely a champ chain it. We can definitely move on. But like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a close game. I do like the fact Cincinnati at home. I like the fact they got a good online. Sorsby on fire. And the one big thing I love mismatches. And if you tell me you play 70% zone against a court, so no, let's go. I almost forgot. Let's go back to some more CEO notes. What happened was, if Sorensby struggles against man, guess what Nebraska plays? Heavy man. Okay. So they beat Cincinnati because he played a defense. Now he playing a defense he's comfortable with now. You see what I'm saying? He's top team. He won the season.
As good of a coach Iowa State has, you don't think he gonna have them prepare for that. And then on top of that, you said one other thing, and I said it too, and I had to really rethink this. Cincinnati at home. Is that really home court? Like, I don't never hear about nobody going to, oh man, it's Saturday. We got a tailgate for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Like, get dog, bro. That's not home. You acting like they going to Ohio State. So we're going to Ole Miss. Like, no, bro. That's not.
I'm not saying home field advantage to the fact we're like they're a 7-point underdog and they can win because of home field. I'm saying after all the stats, you add them up, you put them together, you come with a pot with a thing. That's another edge. I think that it's a small edge, but you see what I'm saying? With teams close like this, you got to find your small edges, and that's what I'm saying. That's a small edge after I give you all the rest of my facts. That's all.
Tune in next week. I'll be wearing the champ chain. Let's go to the next one.
For sure. Next we got Kentucky at Georgia. Georgia 20.5-point favorite, over under 48.5. The reason I put this one on here is, for one, I don't know. Kentucky give Georgia fits, man. I don't know why.
They do.
You laugh. They give them. I don't care how bad Kentucky is. They give Georgia fits. Georgia is 0-4 versus the spread this year. What you think?
I'm gonna leave this one off of any of my parlays because I'm trying to stay away from these big spreads because for whatever reason the teams that they're not covering them. But fear of embarrassment, bro. Georgia has to be embarrassed losing to Alabama, a game they could have won, and I won't say easily, but they could have came back. They made the adjustments to win the game.
Yes.
They gotta be pissed off.
Yes.
I'm gonna be surprised if they don't come out here and really try to drop like a 40 burger on these dudes. And if they do that, Kentucky's not keeping up with them, bro. Kentucky's not keeping up with them. It's not happening. So I honestly think Georgia will cover this.
So Kentucky, and that's why I like to watch these games and give you all these notes, because if you look at the score of the South Carolina-Kentucky game, you like, no, they lost 35-13. They got their ass kicked. But guess what, y'all? CEO note says the true score at the start of the fourth quarter was 14-13, Kentucky. They had, I think, a pick six, like of some fumbles in the red zone and turning into touchdowns. Like I said, when you watch games, the reason we take these games, that stuff out of there, guys, is because when you take all the fluke stuff that don't happen often, that's who the real teams are. You can get a team with 5 interceptions in one game and running back for touchdowns. That's not their team. Because next game, like last year, Syracuse versus, I can't think of the team. Remember he threw them 5 picks?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. Remember Pittsburgh got their ass beat the next game because you can't live off flukes. So that's why they take off flukes. When you give me mano and mano and y'all go head up, those are your real power ratings, and that's how you're gonna learn how to power rate. So honestly, Kentucky, one thing they do have is a defense. The reason Kentucky give them fits, for one, we can talk about this another time. I don't know if Kirby Smart a legendary coach or not. I think Kirby Smart was a legendary recruiter. I think Kirby Smart was a good person who paid players. I'm not gonna say he paid them, but I'm not going to say he didn't. We're going to leave that up to whatever. But if you look at Kirby Smart, all the teams, when he dominates, he has a big advantage of talent. If he have any time he played, and that's why he can't beat Bama. If he had anybody he played that's near his talent, he lose. He 1-7 against Bama, but he's 65-3 against these teams that don't have no talent that can compare to Georgia. Georgia stacked with NFL talent. So I honestly think he's a good recruiter. I do think he makes good adjustments. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I don't think he's legendary. That's all I'm saying. And I'm seeing it now that all of a sudden everybody can pay players. His teams ain't what they used to be because everybody can pay them now. So that's a whole other subject. But in this game, I think Kentucky do have a little bit of defense to be able to keep this within this 20. So, no, I wouldn't touch it either. I definitely wouldn't touch it. You got anything else?
Nah, it ain't even worth it. It ain't even worth it.
It's tricky, man. This next game is tricky. And I know we high on Notre Dame. We high on their coach. We got Boise State at Notre Dame, 20.5-point favorite, over under 62.5. What you got?
Notre Dame, man. I've seen Boise a couple games about Boise. They have not looked right. They have not looked good at all. But the problem is Notre Dame has a leaky defense for whatever reason. I don't know if they fixed it or not. I could see this scoreboard being something wild like 55-38. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't like Boise State. Especially it's hard to get that butt whooping out of your head. Who was at South Florida that punished them like that in the beginning when the quarterback was running over people?
Yeah.
I know they've won some games since. I can't get it out of my brain. And then on top of that, I know Notre Dame believes they have playoff chances. So they gotta beat the stew out of people. They can't lose no more, and they can't have no close calls with any of these weirdo teams like this. So. Now, if Boise was ranked, it's different, but with them not being ranked, they need to beat them by 3 scores, bro. Because they got to start moving on the rankings.
You right. They was impressive last week, man. I'm not going to lie. They was impressive last week versus Arkansas.
Yeah, that got out of hand quick too. That was weird.
And so what's kind of troubling me on this game, the reason I'm not going to bet the 21, I don't know what Notre Dame defense is, because last week stopping Arkansas to 13 points was exceptional. Arkansas has a top 40 offense in the country, might be even top 30. They got one of their top 10 to 15 quarterbacks. Like they offense, Arkansas, they can't stop you, but they can score. To stop them to 13 points, make me like, okay, is Notre Dame defense? Because you know sometimes when you get new players or you learn new schemes, because remember they got a new coordinator. It takes time to learn them new schemes sometimes. Remember, you know, and this the NFL, but I remember last year, I was telling you off air, Philadelphia was looking terrible. And we talk NFL now, but remember the Eagles looking bad in the first 3 games. About 6 or 7 was the best defense in the NFL. So what I'm gonna tell you about this game, if Notre Dame defense is like there was in Arkansas, Notre Dame gonna win it 56-13 again. Boise State cannot tackle. Boise State on film is the worst tackling team I've seen in a long time. And if you're not stopping Notre Dame will probably score every single time they had the ball. The only way Boise are gonna even cover, they gonna have to score every time they got the ball. And so
they can't do that. They not personnel to do that.
They don't. And so the reason I'm not gonna bet this big spread, because if you tell me last year team with this year Notre Dame offense, this spread should be 35. But since I don't know what defense is gonna come to play, I'm gonna stay off this one. But y'all, I wouldn't be mad if y'all sprinkle some money on Notre Dame on this one. And I'm gonna have an over total thing on this one. I got an alt total coming up because they about to put up points in this game. Notre Dame might cover this themselves. that over under.
Bro, to be honest with you, man, I think Boise is butt shit. And it's been so long. Like, I can't even remember the last time they were this bad. Like, they're bad, bro. So, yeah, man, give me Notre Dame in the points, man. I might actually throw this. I might throw this on the parlay, bro, because I don't see how Boise keeps in the game. And flip side, if Boise does find a way to stay in this game, I'm all the way off of Notre Dame. They're not winning. Yeah. They're not running through USC and all these other teams. So
Agreed. And y'all check this out. I'm gonna have something later too in the parlay with Notre Dame. Little off like we normally do. All right, we got Virginia at Louisville. I said it right again. I'm on the roll. I'm gonna probably mess up while we talking, but I said it right the first time. Louisville 6.5 point favorite. I almost messed up after I said I did it right. Over under 61.5, man. You got something on this one?
Yeah, man. So the money must be coming in on Virginia. Last time I looked, it was 7.5. Which is fine. I'm still. Man, this is a game that I think is going to be money line. Virginia seems like they game. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to get punished, but Louisville is the better team, better quarterback. They're at Louisville, man. Louisville should be ranked, bro. They undefeated. I looked it up. I was confused.
I was surprised, too. I was surprised.
I thought they must have lost to something I missed. They're undefeated. They got a better quarterback. They actually have a shot to win the ACC. Virginia doesn't. But so, personally, I think they win. I don't know if they win by 7. And I don't like the other thing I've seen from Louisville is some slow starts. I don't really like them. So I think it could be closer, but I'm not taking Virginia with the points, and I'm not taking Louisville with the other thing. If I was going to bet anything on this game, I'm going with the over.
Okay. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. I told y'all last week, Louisville, number 1 running back and number 2 running back didn't play second week in a row. The reason I'm not going to touch this one on the Louisville side is I don't know if they play this week. I looked everywhere for injury report. I could not find a Louisville injury report. College do a good job of hiding them damn injury reports because I could not find it. If you tell me right now them 2 running backs miss again, I got Virginia. No questions asked. But Chandler Morris actually still kind of turnover prone. He threw a couple of picks versus Florida State. But I did like the fact that he kept on coming. One thing that I did find out, he's actually top like 20 in the nation versus pressure. Per PFF, like top 2015 versus pressure. You always love a quarterback who can play against pressure, because if you can play without pressure and with pressure, how can you even rattle them? And he wasn't like that back a couple years ago, so maybe he didn't work in and got better. So I do like that. They got a playmaker, number 11. Y'all look at this number 11 on Virginia's offense, Harris. He's a beast at receiver. He actually, I like comparing players, but he kind of remind me like of a Santana Moss. Like he kind of small, fast, and explosive. Like you cannot do one-on-one. He's running past everybody. Also, too, Virginia defense. I don't like the fact that they can't tackle. So that's another reason. Like that's gonna be kind of trouble with Louisville, especially if they got their starting 2 running backs playing. Chandler Morris is dangerous in the red zone. One thing when they got down, every time they got down the 10-yard line, I think he had about 3 or 4 or 5 touchdowns this year. You know what I'm saying? Like just down there. He know how to find the end zone. Louisville secondary give up a lot of explosive plays. a lot of explosive plays. No matter who they was playing this year, I'm seeing 30-yard runs, another 30-yard. 30-yard reception, another 30-yard reception. That's gonna be hard to stop Virginia because Virginia number 11 and Chandler Morris, they got a connection. Louisville, the top of the nation, top 5 in pass rush and pressure rate. But remember what I just said, Chandler Morris is top of the nation versus a pass rush and pressure rate. So that alleviates that. Also, too, the big thing, and I'm gonna have Virginia on something later. The reason I picked their side, and it's gonna be we love to do the odds, is the biggest thing is Louisville O-line is 109th in the nation. Pass blocking grade and 121st in the nation in run blocking grade. They got a bad O-line. Anytime you play a team who not far, inferior with a bad O-line, I'm going to take the other team. And so that's why I do like Virginia, and I'm going to take them, like I said, on the alt later. But I think they're going to get back there and kind of rattle Louisville a little bit. Louisville, like I said, do had a slow start. So even though Louisville come back and win, I don't think they beat Virginia by double digits. And we'll talk about something like that later. Anything else?
No.
Gotcha. All right, this is a game I know he loved. Let's go. We got Vanderbilt at Alabama. Alabama 2.5-point favorite, over under 55.5. Go.
I don't think Alabama's 10 points better than anybody this year, to be honest with you, bro. To be real with you, I'm not sure there's 7. They might be 4 points better than any team they match up with, bro. This is not that Alabama. Now, one thing I will give them, they can air that ball out. He can air that bitch out. Mm-hmm. But they were dropping a lot of balls. Pause. So I'm not high on Alabama. Vanderbilt got them last year, so I don't think this is a trap game like it was last year. But the quarterback at Vanderbilt, he a game.
Pavia. Animal.
Javier. Yeah, his mom be in the stands. His mom look like she's like 40. Be out there talking trash with him and all that. I'm like, bro, this is a wild situation. But if we're gonna keep it real, Vanderbilt plays everybody tough, bro. They kind of on one of them roles. You telling me they getting 10.5 points? This ain't Bama. This ain't Nick Saban. This is DeBoer. Like, bro, this has everything set up. Even if Alabama win, I can't see them winning by more than 3, maybe 7. 10.5. That's crazy. Give me Vanderbilt all day. And low key, man, Honestly, I think Vanderbilt gonna win the game. I think Alabama is not that good, bro. And I think them beating Georgia, I really think that's fool's gold because once they made them adjustments, man, they didn't score in the second half, bro.
0 points in the second half.
They helped them shut out. Georgia had to make like 3 or 4 mistakes to not just climb the hump, bro. They literally came down first drive, scored 7, cut it to 3, and just started doing all types of weird stuff. So, yeah, man, I got Vanderbilt on this. Give me them. Actually, you should bet it twice. I bet them, and I'll take the points. Then I would bet them to win money line, bro.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm going to stay off this game. The only reason I'm going to stay off this game, and I'm a big Vandy backer. Last year, I think I won at least 2 or 3 games. Matter of fact, this year, one of my underdog money lines was against South Carolina. I'm 3-0 with the underdog money lines, and Vanderbilt was one of them. One thing,
Vanderbilt punished them, didn't they?
Yeah, but that's one thing that's a little bit of negative that when you go watch the game, you see a little bit different. They won 35-7. I don't like Vandy defense this year. That's the reason I'm not going to bet them versus Bama. They actually won 55-35 versus Utah State. I don't like the fact they gave up 35 points to Utah State. At halftime, it was 31-21. Utah State was getting whatever they wanted to on their defense. And I'm not knocking what you're saying. I'm just saying the reason I'm staying off of it. Also, too, I looked at South Carolina. I'm saying, damn, they was good defense. South Carolina quarterback was hurt in the second quarter. That's the reason they stopped South Carolina 7 points. If South Carolina quarterback would have played the whole game, it would have been a way closer game. They would have scored about 28. So far, Vanderbilt defense have not played anybody good as far as offensively, and they have not looked good against Utah State. And so when you give up 35 points to Utah State, I'm going to stay away because one thing, Bama, they do look bad in the second half, but they look bad in the second half for Georgia, and I definitely would rank Georgia defense better than I would rank Vanderbilt, but I'm just going to stay away. I'm not saying they're not going to win, not going to say they're not going to cover, but anytime you give me a defense that I think that's kind of lacking back there, I'll stay away from it. You got anything else?
I mean, I feel like it's a free bet, bro. Alabama is not running. I just can't see them blowing them out. Now, Vanderbilt might not win, but 10.5. And if you're really feeling scary and you want to put them on a parlay, you can buy some points. Like, bro, this is I'm not big on Alabama this year.
Yeah. And the spread, I think last year was like 20.5. So they're actually 10 points better than it was last year. Like I said, I'm not gonna back y'all off his bet. Y'all see some of his bets later on in the show. I do like Vanderbilt, but when you were underdog, I like it when you had defense when you're underdog, especially when you're double-digit underdog. And Ty Simpson, although he didn't look good against Florida State, actually looked good most of the rest of the season so far. And he's actually PFF pretty high graded right now. All right, we're gonna jump over to Washington in Maryland. Washington is 6.5 point favorite at Maryland, over under 54.5. You got anything on this one?
Man, I would take Maryland. I really would.
Okay.
I may not bet this game, but I would take Maryland.
Okay.
Only for a few reasons. One, I never like the cross country trips. I don't like it. Because these are not professionals, bro. And you just seen it even in the pros. You seen it with the Chargers flying out to the Giants.
Yeah,
a lot of times that West Coast to East, that's a haul. And
your body clock.
Yeah, man, I don't like that. Number two, when I watch Washington against Ohio State, I understand it is Ohio State, bro, but I was not impressed. I know the quarterback is elusive, and he's going to look a lot more explosive against Maryland.
Yeah,
I know that.
Definitely.
But he doesn't really have a whole lot of weapons. And the other thing I saw that I really didn't like was they got into the red zone a lot against Ohio State, but they could not score points. They had to settle for field goals. Now against Maryland, it probably won't be as tough, but here's the kicker with Maryland. That coach out there, no matter who he has on that team, they're going to put up points, bro.
Yeah.
Whoever he got at quarterback, whatever, they're going to run a wide-out offense. They're going to keep a decent running back. You're going to have to put up points on them. And Washington didn't show me they could do it. I think this could end up like Washington versus Washington State. And remember, watching Washington State, we told y'all last week Ohio State was going to punish them. Yeah. We watched Washington versus Washington State, and if it wasn't for like a pick six and a couple weird, like you like to call fluky things happening, they was in a dog fight. So I don't see why this wouldn't be the same type of situation. And this time they not in their home state. So give me Maryland with the points, man.
Okay. So I like Washington. I think Washington is 10 points better than Maryland. I'm not going to bet it because I'm not betting that cross-country trip. The second thing is you put me on game last week. Sometimes history prevails. And you did it in Iowa. You was right. Right now, Iowa should have got blown out. But history, Iowa don't get blown out at home. Last year, Washington was 0-4, I think, when they traveled cross country last year. And they got the same coach. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better team. But yeah, that cross country trip, they struggle against the road. All of the data and everything is against them in that part of it. So, and y'all gonna notice I normally don't do this. And you ask Jay, I'm normally data. But I'm gonna be like Jay today, and I'm gonna go with history. I actually had this game as one of my best bets. Once I dug into it and got those facts, I back off of it. Maryland not as good as people saying they are. They played Wisconsin. Honestly, it was 27-10, but it wasn't as good as 27-10. They had a couple turnovers here and there. They didn't move the ball well against Wisconsin. I don't think Maryland is as good as what people think, but this whole cross-country trip, 3 hours body clock, yeah, I think that's what's gonna make them struggle. I really still think that 10 points better. If y'all was going to tell me gun to head, I'm betting Washington to win this and cover. Just let y'all know that. So if y'all do want to put money on Washington, and just like last week, Washington, so neutral field, I'm going to tell y'all this, neutral field, Washington 10 points better. But when you start putting all the other stuff into it, that's the reason I kind of backed off of it. You got anything else?
Yeah, man. I two things that I want to take out of your take. You talked about Iowa, like I told you. What would happen with Iowa and Indy, I told you that shit. Yeah. And it's funny because Penn State go to Iowa this year, and I'm interested to see how that shit.
Yeah,
I'm really because I think they can get them problems. But as far as this game, here's another thing, man. When you go across country, bro, to me, and I want to be careful when I say average. These are two average teams, in my opinion, in the Big Ten. They're middle tier. So let's say Maryland is the bottom of tier 3 or the top of tier 4 Big Ten, and Washington is top of tier 3, maybe middle tier 3. I don't know where you have them ranked, but I think we can agree they're somewhere within there.
Yeah.
I can't count on a team like this to fly across country and bring what they're going to bring. We saw Ohio State go across country and punish them, but it was a slow punish, bro.
Yeah.
Like, It took them a minute to get going, bro, because the final
Mhm.
score was 24-6.
Yeah,
It
something like
took
that.
them a minute to get going.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is the best team in the country. So I can't rely on an average team going to play someone, we'll say a B- team going to play a C team or a C+ team, and I'm gonna count on them to bring everything they're supposed to bring and be the same team over here. I can't count on that, bro.
Yeah.
Especially these kids nowadays,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I that's my reasoning, bro. Just all the factors
It
outside,
makes sense. It makes sense because you got, like you said, even professionals who do this for a living, and
bro.
that's all they do. They don't even got to go to school. That's all they do, and it hurts them in the pros because there's no in the world. It's a whole other league. But Chargers and Giants, you see what happened. All right, let's go on to the next game. This one is pretty interesting. I would love to hear what you got to say on this one. We got Texas 6.5 point favorite at Florida over under 41.5. What you got?
I don't know. I would actually take Florida, bro. I would take Florida. Actually, if I had to bet this game, I'm probably gonna bet the over, man. Because you gotta believe all the talent that's supposed to be on the field. I know Florida is like a top 5 defense, but all the talent on the field, one of these games, these two teams got to pop off for some points. 41.5?
That's low. It started off at 46.
Bro,
Heavy money dropped it down.
so you telling me somebody can't score 20? All you really need is one team to score 27 or 24 points in college. I would probably take the over, but because I think Vegas, I just think this is a weird play. I know Florida's defense is good, but it's a lot of talent out there. Number 2, I don't think Texas is 7 points better than anybody right now. I think they're the most overrated team.
Agreed.
And I think I expect him to struggle, bro. Like, this man has played himself all the way out the first round of draft picks. Like, it look like he got to come back to school next year if he don't get it together. So in Florida, I don't think they're gonna lay over because the other dude was supposed to be a high draft pick too. He done played himself into like the 4th round. So I expect, and just for those purposes, eventually all the talent and everything we done heard about has to come out. That scoreboard is low. They should be able to get to 30 by halftime, bro. Them combined. I play the over. That's the safe play because both of these teams is fugazi. They liars. You can't trust them, bro. They're drug addicts. Both of these teams are drug addicts, bro. And it's like you putting your faith in someone that's a known drug addict. So I can't take these points for you. Give me the over, bro.
So the only thing I caution you on that over is that they lost 20-10 versus LSU, and he threw 5 interceptions. Normally, when you throw 5 interceptions, that gives you points right there. They only scored a total of 30 points. They played Miami.
They score though. They've kind of proven that to us. They're struggling to score. So I know Texas is too, but
also too, they play Miami, who I don't think always struggles to score. And Miami, the game was what 13-7, 10-7 or something. They won 26-9, which is 33 points.
Yeah.
Like Florida has an elite defense. I don't know if that coach, because last year they had a pretty good defense, but they have an elite defense. So that's the only thing I'll caution you. They have an elite defense, and Texas got elite defense also. So
I'd rather bet the over on this game than anything else, bro. If I not gun to head, like if we was just sitting over here, I had a day and I had been winning. Give me the over on this because there's nothing else here that intrigues me because, like you said, they got a defense, but they got to start putting up points. No matter how good that defense is, they not holding Texas to 9 points. I promise you that. I guarantee Texas gets to 17. So if they want to be in the game, they got to get up there too. Nah, Texas is gonna get to 20 something.
The problem is you got 2 average quarterbacks right now against 2 elite defenses. Like Texas actually has a real good defense, and so I'm not saying not take the over. I'm just giving you the other side. I was giving you the other argument. I'm always gonna get the other side of the argument because you want to see both sides before you make your bet. That's what we do. Real quick, we're gonna go to my notes. Texas reminds me of Clemson. They just got a weaker schedule. When Texas played Clemson, they already had losses. No skill position. They don't have any skill position talent. I just don't see it. Last year they did. This year, their skill position talent does not excite me. Like Clemson, they had great PFL preseason grades across the board, just like Clemson. But for some reason, they're not putting up on the field. Arch Manning is good versus zone. Florida do play zone at a high rate per PFF. That might make it a little bit easier for them. If I would have saw Texas play any game before Ohio State, and it's just part of my notes. I would have bet the house on Ohio State if I saw Texas play before they played Ohio State. Going to Florida, Florida has one of the best defenses in the country. They got a decent. Their running back Ball, he's real tough. I like the running back. It's gonna be a step down in class, I think, versus Texas, because I think if Arch Manning's name was Dan Johnson, we wouldn't even be talking about him right now. If his name was Dan Johnson, he'd probably be benched already. We got that thing in our head, Manning. He don't look like a Manning, and he's about to go against an elite defense. One thing I learned about Florida, they do fight for their coach. I don't care if they 3-7, 3-8, whatever. Florida is going to come to play, and they go all out. Man, they gave Miami all Miami can handle. Like, all Miami can handle. And they're not even close in class to Miami. So I do like the fact that even versus Miami scored on the first drive, touchdown. Miami didn't score another touchdown to the end of the fourth quarter. That's pretty elite against a team like Miami with the good offensive weapons that we already talked. They got good receivers, good running back, best line in the country, good quarterback, Carson Beck. So I do love Florida defense. Like I said, I think it's two average quarterbacks going against two elite defenses. I'm going to actually, y'all going to see them probably in my later on in the art, but I do like Florida because it's in Florida right now, and Florida is known to be trouble to play in. So you got Arch, young, struggling to read defenses, inaccurate, going in Florida against an elite D. I'm gonna give some points on that art, and I'm gonna take Florida side. You got anything else?
Yeah, real quick, man. He ain't young for one. He sat down there for enough time.
Young meaning like game experience.
One thing I do want to say about both of these quarterbacks, bro, like there's a reason people believed in them. Like, they got all of this hype. With Arch Manning, I feel like eventually it's gonna come together, bro. I don't know what game it is, but it's gonna come together. I just see it hard. It's hard for me to believe he's gonna be this bad all season. That's one. The kid in Florida, bro. The same with him, because it's just weird to me. And I know we say defense is figured, they're just not playing with it. The same talented people. This is Texas. This is Florida. You got speed. You got position players. I think the reason you think Texas' skill positions are so bad is because Arch ain't hitting them, bro. Like Arch is throwing them off. We don't know how good these cats are because he ain't hitting them in stride. This is a perfect game to come out here and put everybody on notice. I'm not a Texas fan at all, but I gotta believe, and it's not even about the last name. It's just about the tools that I've seen. Because I remember last year, the speed with him running, the arm strength. All of this other stuff. Like, I don't know if they cloned him and sent somebody out this year. This is not what I seen last year. Same with the kid from Florida, bro. He was able to throw that ball on a rope, like 50 yards. Like, I just think this is the perfect game. And this is just me because this is gambling. Instead of following everybody's trend, because everybody's going to say the under.
Of course.
Everybody take Texas minus 6.5. Florida to shut down everybody. I'm just seeing this as a spot where a breakout game for both of these quarterbacks.
Got you.
That's how I see it.
I'm not gonna knock you for that. One thing y'all do know, and I will let y'all know if y'all don't, is the reason my boy in Florida at quarterback been struggling is he's similar to Jalen Milroe. They can throw the deep ball very well, but they can't read defenses. So the 20 to 10 yard in, they struggle because they can't read defenses. When you throwing an out and an up, you don't really got to read the defense. And so what teams been doing in Florida is they've been sitting back and telling you, beat me underneath. You can't read defenses, so he's been struggling. Arch has been so inaccurate. That's the reason I'm calling him average right now. He might be even better than average in the future, but as of right now, them throws he missing, wide open players like that, he's been super inaccurate. The only thing he's been saving him against these teams that's inferior is his running. If Arch Manning was as immobile as his father's was, man, it would look even worse, and he probably wouldn't even be right where he is right now. All right, we got Texas Tech. And I'm just going to be real quick. I know you might not. I know you don't mess with either team. Texas Tech, 11.5-point favorite at Houston, over under 51.5. You got anything on this one?
Yeah, man, I'll keep it quick. Okay. Texas Tech look like they got something special going on down there. Like going into Utah, they beat Utah to sleep, bro. And that's impressive because I did not expect that, man. And I wanted to pick Houston as an underdog and with all these points, but Man, they ain't got nothing for Texas Tech. If they could walk into Utah and stomp somebody out,
Yeah.
They could walk into Houston and
Anywhere.
make them touch pillar to post, bro.
Yeah.
Real talk. That's it.
So this might come back to bite me, and I know it's gonna be a wild take, y'all. I'm gonna just warn y'all. But I think, and Jay clowned me about it when I mentioned it. Watching them on tape, the money they spent on the D line, I think Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12 by a decent margin. Their defense is elite. I think Texas Tech, if you was to change their uniforms and put Bama on their team, people will be looking at Texas Tech as a lot better. I'm just letting y'all know. I don't know if you know this, but Texas Tech is top 5 in NIL money. Texas Tech is one of the top 5 teams in NIL money. They went out and spent like Ohio State. They spent like Miami. That's the reason I was high on Texas Tech preseason. They put a lot of money in that team. Just look it up. They put a lot. That's why Texas Tech looks so good. It's like Texas Tech salary is here, and if I was in the Big 12, salary is way below them. These players could have went to Miami and Ohio State. They went to Texas Tech. That's why they look so good right now. So the reason they went to Utah, which I told you, remember I said Utah not as bad as they look versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech is just that damn good. And guess what happened? Utah went to West Virginia and whooped their ass the next week. It's levels to this shit. And right now, it's like one of them Big 10 teams, the SEC teams, put one of them teams in the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Take Oklahoma or they're going to be they head above everybody. I do think they're going to whoop Houston ass. One note I do got as far as CEO notes, Houston beat Oregon 27-24. Beat Oregon State. And Oregon State is terrible. Texas Tech beat that same team 45-14. Connor Wegman is Houston quarterback. And if you know Connor Wegman, like me and Jay know Connor Wegman, you don't never want to bet on Connor Wegman against any kind of good defense. Never. I'd rather not bet the game than bet on any kind of good defense versus Connor Wegman. One thing, Oregon State, I heard the announcers say, and I even noticed it, they own the line of scrimmage on defense. Their D-line dominated Houston's O-line. Oregon State's D-line dominated Houston's O-line. Oregon State is an F compared to what Texas Tech D-line is. Now, like I'm saying, and I think Oregon State, was up like 24-10 against Houston in like the fourth quarter. Oregon State. You know what the score between Oregon State and Oregon was? 41-7. Texas Tech, 45-14. So I just don't think Houston, with Connor Wegman, what's going to happen is they're going to bring 4, like I mentioned about Ole Miss versus LSU. Texas Tech going to bring 4, drop 7. They're going to pressure Wegman all day. Wegman going to throw at least 2 interceptions. That's going to put them out of range. They're going to start trying to come back, and Texas Tech just going to bring the dogs all the rest of the game. I don't think this look pretty. It's going to be one of my picks later on. You guys are going to see it. I see you over there boiling. What you got?
Oh, no, man. I just wanted to read something, bro. Big 12. Iowa State. Arizona State. BYU. They're better than all 4 of them. Or all 3 of them, excuse me. Texas Tech. Are they better than those 3?
Yes.
I disagree. I see some 1-1 teams. This is going to be interesting to watch as this plays out. Because I'm not sure. I'm looking at they're better than Cincinnati and Houston. I'll give you that. Can't wait to see them play against a couple of these other teams, too. I wonder if they play TCU. I wonder if they play Baylor. And where they play them at. But, yeah, man.
We can champ chain whoever they about to play. I ain't worried about it.
Well, I mean, this week, that would be stupid. That would be stupid this week.
No, I'm not talking about this week. I'm talking about later on when you say them better teams. All I'm saying is Utah, I think, is better than all them teams too.
Okay.
We gonna find out later on who right on the power rankings. But I'm just letting you know my power ranking. The strength of team power ratings. I got Texas Tech here. I got levels. I got tiers.
Bro, you compared them to Oregon. You're bugging. You compared them to Oregon. You're tripping.
In the Big 12. In the Big 12. I'm not saying they're gonna be in the Big 10 to beat Oregon. I'm saying they're in the Big 12. They're
winning the Big 12.
Yes, they're in tier 1.
Are they winning the game in the playoffs?
I'm not there yet. We got some more games. Okay. But from what like I said, remember we both got our different views and ratings. But I rate them at tier 1. I rate Utah tier 2, maybe Arizona State or somebody, and everybody else in tier 3. So they're the only team to me in tier 1 in that conference. We're going to find out. You got anything else?
Nah, we good.
All right. Next game, we got Miami 4.5-point favorite at Florida State University over under 54.5. What you got?
Man, I had Miami, bro. I started off with Miami, and I just kind of, I switched up, bro. I switched up. I'm gonna take Florida with the points on this one, man. These rivalries are strange. Florida State gonna come in there with, bro. They already beat Bama. They had that bad loss to Virginia, which was a trap game. I expect them to keep it close. Miami wins this game, but in a rivalry game like this, with both teams on the up and up, I think it comes down to a field goal.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be kind of short on this one, too. I honestly do think Ohio State the best team in the country. I think it's Miami, Ohio State, and Oregon. And I think it's everybody else right now. I power rate Miami 7 points better than Florida State. That's why I do like them to get the win and cover. Florida State, I do like Virginia. We just talked about it. That was underwhelming against Virginia. I didn't think Florida State defense was that bad. Florida State forced 3 interceptions versus Virginia and still
Let me
lost.
just jump in real quick. I don't mean to cut you off. But also remember, I'm not giving out excuses. We don't do excuses. But how many times have you seen ranked teams fall on a weird Friday night? Now, if they'd have lost on Saturday, I'll be more with you. Like, it's always these during the weekend. Right. No excuses. Right. But go ahead, continue.
No, all I was going to say real quick is, like I said, Florida State forced 3 interceptions versus Virginia. Normally, when you win a turnover battle like that, you get the win. And for them to lose that, honestly, I love the quarterback. I love because what's Castellanos. So that's the only thing that scared me. The only thing that scared me in this game is Gus Malzahn going to game plan it with him, and they're going to have trouble stopping him. He is.
National stage. This guy's name all on it, bro.
Yes.
I just don't think I think they lose, but I think it comes down to a field. I'll be surprised when they get, because when you're saying 4.5, that means you need them to win by 7. And usually when you want a team to win by 7, they need to be up 14. And you got room for the back door to be covered. I don't know. I just can't see them pulling. They were struggling to pull away from Florida for a long time. And Florida's been playing really, really bad, bro.
Their offense but their defense has been playing elite. So the problem is what make Florida look so bad. And of course we can't do that. If you give Florida Miami offense, they will look just like Miami look right now. That's how good Florida defense is.
They'd actually probably be the number 1 team in the country. But
just imagine this. Florida offense has been one of the worst in the country. What that means? The defense is on the field all game.
Right.
They still stopping everybody. They're on the field 70% of the game and still shutting people down. That is hard to do because you get tired. So that means they must be pretty deep. So that's what I'm saying. I want to use Florida as a bad thing because their defense is just tough. So yeah, and like I said, it's a rivalry game, like you mentioned. It's in Florida State. That's gonna be tough.
I don't like big spreads and rivalries, and that's something I'm trying to stay away from. Like how I'm starting to try to stay away from the super big spreads and stuff like that. I'm trying to stay. Excuse me. I'm gonna start staying away from some of these rivalry games with weird points. Like even like last year, Ohio State, Michigan, 20-point spread. Like in these rivalry games, momentum is a mofo. And like at a stadium like that, wherever they play, even if it's at Florida State, it's gonna be half Miami, half Florida State. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Michigan State. Like you can stay in the game. You know what I mean? And keep it closer than what it should be. Like Miami on paper is about 8 to 9 points better than Florida State.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But in a rivalry game, I don't know. But
so y'all gonna learn too. I like to compare and contrast. I already did this so far during this show. We're gonna find out. But this conversation reminds me of these two teams, Ohio State and Washington last week. That's all I'm gonna say. This reminds me of Ohio State versus Washington last week. Everybody on the Washington. But at some point, the talent is just too much.
Minus 8.5.
And everybody, man, people was on Washington's head. They was better than the win.
They was tripping. But you also got to remember when you come to gambling, what I'm starting to notice is a lot of people, these people who get on Twitter and shit, they look for that one big underdog. Once you get that one big underdog, you get a big following. So people look for that. Like, bro, trust me, I was really trying to convince myself to take Houston to beat Texas Tech, and just my real football knowledge had to tell me like stop it.
Yeah,
because that's an upset. Any given Saturday,
of course,
if it happened, and I'm lucky. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people do. I don't think nobody in their right fucking mind thought Washington would beat Ohio State. Even when I would hear that, I'm like,
Yeah.
beat them? Covering the spread is one thing. Beat them? Like that shit is wild.
Definitely. And this next game, y'all, I actually got it on here because I'm actually confused with the spread, and I need Jay to help me to maybe understand why the spread's so big. We got Mississippi State at Texas A&M, minus 14.5, over under 55.5. I need you to help me, Jay. Just talk me off the ledge. Why the hell is the spread 14 points versus Mississippi State?
It has to be because they're 0-2 in the conference. That's the only reason it has to be. They play some tough games, bro. So I don't know. I'm not touching this because I'm not big on Texas A&M, and Mississippi State seems to know how to blow games at the end. So I don't want no parts of it. But 14.5 seems steep. They must know something we don't.
And so you know what's crazy? I struggled to put this game on my bet slip because I'm like, I told you injury reports are hard to find. I look for every single. I'm like, somebody got to be missing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be. Their whole team got like that spread do not look right. So I wanted to back off of it because you know what? Vegas smart. Vegas knows something we don't, and that hook staying there too. They didn't move that hook. It ain't going to 13. But what I'm going to stick to is I'm going to stick to my film. If I don't stick to my film, why am I even watching it? And so I'm going to give y'all some CEO stats. True score versus Tennessee in the fourth quarter. They was up 24-13 versus Tennessee. True score in the fourth quarter. Tennessee had a pick 6 and a fumble 6. If you take the fluke stuff, Mississippi State in the fourth quarter would have been up 27-13. Do you know against Arizona State? Arizona State had 0 points in the first half. It was 17-0 versus Mississippi State. Now, the second half was changed a little bit. They scored 3 points at halftime because of a penalty. So one thing that tells you Mississippi State has a defense. Mississippi State has a good running game. They got a 1-2 punch, top 20 in the country. Texas A&M's weakness is a running defense. Now, let's roll this back. Take away the pick 6. Take away the fumble 6. Mississippi State up 27-13 in the fourth quarter versus Tennessee. Mississippi State beat Tennessee 34-27. This spread ain't 14.5, bro. No way that Mississippi State undefeated right now, coming off beating Tennessee. This spread 7 points. So, like I said, we don't know Vegas. Maybe I'm gonna come back next show, and I'm just gonna have to apologize to y'all because Vegas knew something we didn't know. But I'm gonna have to stick to my script, and I love Mississippi State in this one because I just don't see why they that big of a favorite. We're gonna go on to Jay's bets.
All right, let's go ahead, bro. I like Vanderbilt. I already spoke on this, man. I'm heavy on Vanderbilt. Like I said, I like the quarterback, man. He's like 30. You know what I mean? He a gamer. I don't think he'll let this game get that far out of hand. He may not win it, but I am champ chain like ready that he's gonna cover this spread. You know what? You can't guarantee anything in sports bet, but this is the most comfortable of a spread that I've seen naturally in a long time. Give me Vanderbilt.
Okay, so you going heavy on this one then?
Yeah.
I know Jay. I'm about to say he going heavy on this one. All right, I actually got 4 bets. We'll see. We talked about these already, so I don't really got to go over them too much. Miami 4.5 over Florida State. Texas Tech minus 11.5 over Houston. Mississippi State to cover the 14.5 versus Texas A&M. And our champ chain bet, Cincinnati money line minus 124. He got Iowa State money line for the champ chain. Let's go on to Jay's. Where my dogs at? Roop.
Yeah. Man, I wanted to put together just an underdog parlay, man. Like just something simple, man. I didn't feel like this weekend I wanted to take it off because I didn't love a lot of games this weekend. I wanted to give me 2 underdogs that I could get together for a nice little bit of plus money. Let me sweat through 8 quarters instead of sweating through 24 quarters. So I like Iowa State early, man. You know what I mean? I'm taking the money line, you know, and that's like plus 100. But you see Vanderbilt's the big underdog. If they can get out there, get an upset, like honestly, bro, plant their flag over there in Alabama, my man becomes a legend at Vanderbilt. He'll be as big as Jay Cutler walking around that place.
Yep. Diego Pavia, guys.
Bro, hey, give me this for plus 754. It's a long shot, but hey, that's what we do. When we talk about where my dogs at, this ain't for you puppies. This ain't for you buster ass niggas. This is for the ones who really get out here and really get after it. We going Vanderbilt, Iowa State, money line, plus 800. Sprinkle something on that, and let's get some money.
All right. We got I think I skipped one of my parlays. I'm gonna have to go backwards. We going to total. We got CEOs Kim, Keisha, Pam. Total remix parlay for all my old cats. All my women, all my women out here. I know I used to love total back in the day. But yeah, we actually got Texas, Florida. Jay, what I did is, I know you said to go over. I gave it a seven more points. So I did 48.5 and I went under. I do like the under. So even if they do cover the 41.5, I think it's still a shot that they go under this one. Notre Dame and Boise, I let it down to 54.5. Okay. If you tell me the game 35-21, that's 56 right there. This is minus 110. I honestly think this is a nice play.
I like this, bro. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the name.
I kind of figured you did. I know you. I was ready for it. I was ready for it.
Good Lord, bro.
I would start rapping. Look, I would start rapping Biggie verse on the remix, though, but I don't know it. All right, but let's go back to my art parlay. We got my blueprint parlay. Hove. We got Miami money line, Texas Tech. I brought it down to 6.5. We got Florida. Remember I told you I moved up to 10.5 because I think Texas and Arch Manning against an elite defense in Florida not going to cover double digits. Virginia, I gave them 10.5. Louisville, I don't think they get double digits. Like I said, they start slow normally. So even if they come back like they did against Pitt, get a 7-point win, we still cover. Notre Dame, I brought it down to 10. I think even with their defense, man, as much as they can score, I can see them covering 10 points, man. Even if it's 45-27, you know what I'm saying? I think they can cover the 10. I don't think they'll get stopped. Cincinnati, it is a 50-50 game a little bit. We got a champ chain on it. But on this one, I do think that if Iowa State get the victory, it's going to be a last-second field goal. And then Michigan, I love the 17.5. That hook is strong, y'all. Remember that hook. When they don't move that hook the whole time, that's what's scared me about Mississippi State. But when they don't move the hook the whole time, Vegas don't know something when it comes something. Normally when you see upsets, that hook, 17.5, 14.5, 7.5 becomes 13.5, 6.5 normally before game time, and it hasn't. So I do love Michigan in this one. I think Washington is just subpar. Like you said, not Washington, Wisconsin. They might not be Purdue bottom tier, but they right above. And I think Michigan knocking on the top tier. Not there yet. I just think it's a big talent gap. So we're going to go with that one. I know you got something to say.
Of course. I mean, this is what I was just talking about. That's why I did my underdog parlay. I want to sweat 8 quarters. This man is sweating 20. How many is it? 28 quarters? 28 quarters. I didn't want to do all that, bro. That's why I tried to get to the chicken early, bro. Make it as simple as possible.
But
yeah, bro, this is
why we do what we do, though. This is why we do what we do, though, because one of these hit, 2 of them hit already this year. We got 7 parlays for the site.
I hit the last one, didn't I? With my art
yeah, you had 3. You had a 3-leg. Yeah, but I'm saying, period, though. Y'all look at this and say it's a lot. But if y'all look at our track record, we didn't hit a lot of these. We already had 6 this year. And we got 7 because we hit a plus 3,000. That was even harder than this on the site. So even though he said there's a lot of sweating, don't be surprised when we knock these down because we got a lot of more parlays coming, bros. We got a lot of people, my gents and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of parlays that will be cashed in the future. That is what we do because we call the what?
Give money boys.
Money boys. Yes, sir. What we got, Jay? Any last word?
Hey, man, I'm ready for the weekend, man. Let's go into the weekend. We got some UFC. Hopefully you checked out the UFC show. We got college football. Check out our shorts on YouTube. We give you NFL bets. We've been doing pretty good with them, man. So check out the site, Beats, Rhymes, and Parlays on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We starting up a group on Facebook, so we're gonna get y'all in there. We're gonna start a Discord as well. So let's have a happy weekend. First weekend in October. I'm out here in Michigan. It don't feel like October, but I'm gonna treat it like October. We in sweatpants, sweat shorts, watching football. So let's get to the chicken. We them get money, boys, and we're gonna see you at the counter.
And we want the smoke.
Let's go.
Peace.